there's only one beer left. Rappers screaming all in our ears like we're deaf. Tempt me, do a number on a label. Beat up all the MCs and drink them under the table like it's on me. Put it on my tab, kid, however you get.
We came to new coast. This is our second year of signing a veteran quarterback on a 1 year deal. Uh, there's some divide in the Pittsburgh community. Some people, well, it's not even a divide. I think we're feeling from the mass majority, including myself. Some people, I think at the beginning of this thing, people wanted Aaron Rodgers. I think as the summer went on and we had to wait and wait and wait, some people got to start thinking to themselves, do we really want Aaron Rodgers on this franchise, man? Do we really want to do another year of having a veteran quarterback on a team we probably don't even say we're going to go to the Super Bowl this year? We traded our number two option, and we got to see what the team like. With George picking off the team, we might have handed fucking Cowboys a fucking conference championship game. They might go to the first conference championship game in forever. Who knows? They might even go to Super Bowl after this shit. Man, our fucking luck. Man, listen, it happened, man. So we get Aaron Rodgers. This is some new action on the internet. So the fans, what we traded George Pickens, at least we had no more drama and distraction on the team. uh, and this, what's crazy? This news dropped on the same day Elon Musk and Trump was beefing. Um, I'm not gonna get into all that shit, man. But yeah, man, yeah, and Rodgers versus Jets week one. Um, and Rodgers, that's a lot. That's a lot of cost Miles Garrett question. Man, listen, nigga, I'm here to you, Cleveland fans, nigga. Nobody scared of Miles Garrett. I'm not scared of that nigga, bro. Just all y'all do is just that nigga is he's he's a quick rush guy. That nigga he's not like a persistent rusher. Like you bought that nigga for good. Like you hold that nigga up a little bit. We ain't worried about him, bro. I'm not worried about him. I'm not scared of fucking Miles Garrett. All right, or Shador Sanders. All right, well, no, Shador Sanders probably put more fear. Put not fear, but I'm more cautious of Shador. Like one another franchise still is something. Okay, here's my scene, man. I think the show is gonna be all right. Um, you can't ruin a franchise that's just steady. We know what we're doing. We know what we're dealing with. Aaron Rodgers ain't finna come in. And I don't think he even had drama on the team. It was more so Woody Johnson just being a fucking insane owner. All right, the guy tried to where he was trying to ask his son. He didn't. He what did a trade or supposedly didn't want to do a trade because his son said the guy overall on Madden sucks. Nigga, what? And then he had a whole thing where he fired Stoller. That was probably his move. Um, yeah, Woody Johnson is just a fucking insane guy. I feel sorry for whoever the Jets coach is. I know it's what is the guy, the former Jets player who was coaching under the Lions defense according to last year. Hey, good luck with that guy, bro. That guy is crazy. But me personally, how I feel about this, man. Listen, man. Of course, I would want to see Mason Rudolph be a starter, but Will Howard get to see behind Mason. But realistically, I was like, Mason can teach him a lot, but Mason don't have the talent that Aaron Rodgers have. So maybe if Aaron, so m- yeah, I just seen a fucking play where Aaron Rodgers tackled somebody. Hold on, what the hell? When the fuck he ever did that before? That's crazy. Okay, okay. I back to what I was saying. Back to what I was saying. Here's my feeling. Aaron Rodgers, I feel like he even though I don't like the way he's a dumber and some of the things he done in the past. He's a perfect guy if you want to have somebody sit behind him. I think if a lot of people want to see what Howard can do because he's a sixth round pick, but believe me, a lot of these quarterbacks who was drafted in the late round, it wasn't like these people suck. It was just they just need more development. And guess what? They didn't even land to it because here's the thing: these quarterbacks are good, but I don't think none of these quarterbacks can land on a team where they can overcome the things that some of the like bad franchise they can overcome. But then you look at the history, you can think about no, it's very few quarterbacks who overcame like terrible organizations without help. It's like I can only think of when Cam Newton came in the league, he went crazy his rookie year, and but even then, like he got some help. Peyton Manning didn't look also great his first couple of years, but when he got Tony Dungy, he was look amazing. So it's just all about, man. I think all of these quarterbacks need a good support system, and I think about like these quarterbacks who went to these teams. I think of Shador. I think Shador can have success in Cleveland. Um, I know Cleveland been not been a great franchise, but I think that whole Deshaun Watson shit was on Haslam. What thing was it? Yeah, Haslam. I think is the owner name or the GM name, whatever. I forgot who did that. But yeah, they got owner own up to it. He was the one who wanted to push for that Deshaun Watson trade. That shit probably gonna set you back for a couple years because that's a big fucking contract, and I guarantee. Yeah, that's the thing about the Browns. They always try to screw people over. Y'all did the same thing with Miles Garrett, but you lucky Miles Garrett gonna work out. But they try to screw people over with this big contract, and that shit crashed and burned on themselves. And that's what they get. You deserve that. But I think they're gonna bounce back with Dylan Gable and Shador. I think Shador is to me is gonna be the starting quarterback eventually. You may see Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett, but I think one of them's getting traded. Um, and this Bobby Week 8, one of them is getting traded. And it's gonna be Shador between Shador and Dylan Gable. And if you don't like either one of them, you can draft a quarterback next year. That's the good thing about it. But I think most likely gonna happen is you're not gonna draft a quarterback next year because people always have this fucking thing of saying next year draft is gonna be so much better. Yeah, nigga, you don't know until they get to the NFL. So all that next year draft is go out the fucking window if them motherfuckers get in the NFL and they on some terrible teams or it's controversy. Like no, but if you got a good franchise and if you get a quarterback with talent, that quarterback can be successful on your team. If you got a good franchise, if you got a terrible franchise and you got a quarterback with talent, but you don't have a good franchise around him, that quarterback will end up most likely end up failing. It's like no quarterback can overcome a shitty organization. There's very few quarterbacks who have done that. So my thing is, man, it's whatever. For my Steelers, yeah, I would love to see how it stood behind them, and maybe we draft a quarterback next year. Maybe we don't draft a quarterback next year. Maybe they see enough this year. You might see some games where Will Howard looks good, but in case you may draft a quarterback next year, but most likely you're not. When Donna Aaron Rodgers means telling me you're not planning on a tank for a quarterback. I don't even think they were going to tank for a quarterback. Even if you feel like it's nobody I would want to tank for coming out of next year, unless you're Archie Manning. And guess what? Archie Manning might not even come out next year. He might stay for another year. Cause you know why? Cause he's making so much freaking money at the college football level with the NIL money. So it's no need for him to hurry up and come to Pittsburgh or whoever he's gonna go to. It's no rush of need. You know how the Manning family operate. So he's gonna have to be a competent franchise. He's not gonna go to your no shitty franchise. So if he don't see a good enough option next year, he's probably not gonna come out next year because he got his dad. His dad saw what his dad did with Eli. I want to think his daddy Cooper man or whatever. He's I think the middle or the oldest brother of Eli. I think he like I don't know, but yeah, he's not gonna send his son to a like you were talking about. You thought Dion was talking. Imagine and I think Shador would have been benefit if he was on a Texas team. But imagine how the Commanders operate. They already did it before. They're not going for none of that. So and right here, this is my balloon for my birthday. Turned 25 today. Let me get this shit out of the view. Oh, it's still come back anyway. Like I'm saying, bro, it don't matter. Um, most likely we're not gonna take for a quarterback, and we're gonna ride this Aaron Rodgers thing. I think this gonna be his last year. To be honest with you, unless he wins a Super Bowl, even if he wins a Super Bowl, he's definitely gonna retire. I don't think he had a lot of personal stuff going on this offseason. Pretty sure he's probably going to be focused on his personal life after this year, and he's gonna be, Trump and Elon breaking up. He gonna be just distraught. He gonna probably try to figure that shit out. Probably going for president after this year. But man, to me, realistically, you kind of feel like it was set in stone. Of course, I was seeing videos of him. He was with the quarterback with the running back we drafted out of Iowa. He was he was training with DK Metcalf. It was um it was like highly rumored that he was gonna sign with us. Only problem I had was just like all this like cats and mouse, like, oh, I don't know, I'm gonna retire. I don't like that shit. But, like, and how Dan Whitney was like, yeah, man, we can take all the time we want. Like, nah, we're the Steelers, bro. And maybe they knew and we didn't know, and that's what the problem. And they didn't communicate to us what was gonna happen. And I think that turned a lot of people off, and they feel like Aaron was probably pussyfooting around. But it might have been the Steelers organization who were just hiding this from us. So it probably wasn't even Aaron's fault. It probably most likely Aaron's telling the Steelers what's going to happen, and he didn't want to go to the media. And the Steelers were like, "Yeah, we'll keep this tight because we're not going to the media." So we was probably left up to speculate, and I think that's part of the issue with the fans. Not gonna understand that because you don't know who your quarterback gonna be, and like now he was like, "Man, I was just let's focus on the guys we got here." Um, Me personally, I think, but where Howard, I think the guy could be good. I think this year he could be good. Like he played in college for 4 or 5 years, so but it's better not to throw him in the fire just yet. Just let him sit, and I can understand that. So you let him sit behind him when he be 24. Uh, I think so he about be what 25 when he probably start if he start next year. Um, it was so you can give him time to develop. Cause you screwed up Kenny Pickett, and I think there was Clifford Terry Bradshaw talking about Kenny Pickett. You messed up big time with Kenny Pickett. Now, even though I feel like Kenny Pickett wasn't that crazy talented, um, but I feel like Will Howard is more talented and more athletic than Kenny Pickett, and he's got a better arm and he's more stronger than Kenny Pickett. So I feel like he's a better prospect than Kenny Pickett. But you didn't even give Kenny Pickett like a fighting chance. You had a terrible uh, offensive coordinator. Um, of course, you try to when the first time after we fired him, like we go, I think we throw for 400 yards in a game, something like that. We had like 400 yards, like, and that was like the first time, like a long time. So, hey man, so it's really on Mike Tomlin. I think he has a problem of hiring his friends on the staff instead of who's actually good. I think that's the main problem in Pittsburgh. A lot of people like we need to hire the best fit people. And I think that was one of the problems for Bill at the end of his Patriots run. He started hiring his friends or try to be smarter than he really is. Where he had like um I want to say he had his DC. former DC, become the offensive coordinator for Mac Jones, and that kind of won Mac Jones confident. A lot of people, a lot of Patriot fans complaining about that, and you saw what happened to Mac Jones, and he went to Jacksonville, and now he's on the 49ers, so it's like, man, some of these coaches can be smarter than they think they are. Um, some coaches who are defensive coaches try to be so smart and all this. Like, you're not as like a good coach can know when he lacks certain areas. Like some of the defensive coach, they should know you lack offensive like the offensive mind to help out the quarterback. So don't try to be smarter than you really are. Just do the smart thing, the right thing, and hire the right offensive mind to help your quarterback. And that's what any defensive coach. That's one of the reasons why defensive coach is not as popular. Defensive coach are not as popular in the NFL now. But you seen with Dan Campbell, he would hire the right offensive coordinator with Ben Johnson, and whoever's the next guy he gonna hire a good hire. You gotta hire the good, the right candidate for your offensive coordinator. Because when you're lacking on the offensive side, you gotta hire that right offensive mind to help you when you're lacking. Because you on these, because now more than ever with the NIL and all these talented quarterback, you cannot mess up on helping these guys out and get them in the right system. You cannot fail on these guys. I think that's the reason why the Steelers are going with Aaron Rodgers because they don't want to throw Will Howard out there. Because most likely what's going to happen is Mason Rudolph going to have a come good game, but you have some and we going to get especially where like could we people going to try wondering Will Howard to get in there. So this now with Aaron Rodgers, at least you don't have to throw him in there. I don't care what anybody say. Aaron Rodgers is miles better than Russell Wilson right now than he is last year and this year. So he's miles uh, better. I know some people who saying Russell Wilson niggas cut it out. Russell Wilson couldn't move. He couldn't throw the ball down the middle of the field. If you wasn't wide ass open, he's not throwing you the ball. He's not taking a chance because and then even when he tried to send plays, just because he's not that same athletic guy anymore. Like I was watching old Seattle Seahawks tape. Like it wasn't like he had like real great mechanics as a quarterback, but he was really good at when the plays break down. Like he would do some crazy plays, but you go watch like he wasn't like this great mechanical quarterback. So now he don't have the athletic ability that he had back then. He can't do some of the things or some of the routine things that Aaron Rodgers could do. Like Aaron Rodgers, he depended on his athletic, but he was athletic, but he didn't depend on his athletic to get him by. Russell, a player like a Russell Wilson who depend on his athletic. Like when that team start breaking down, he start getting slower and slowing down. Like like you can see it now. Like you saw last year, like it wasn't good. So yeah, I mean I don't have no problem with it. Um, I see what happened. More things. I don't really expect us to win the Super Bowl this year, but I just want to see what can happen if everybody got some left in the tank. If we do, I think the only way you can convince me this is Super Bowl winning team if Calvin Austin come out here looking crazy and Fire moves look like what Fire moves supposed to do. Like he started putting up crazy numbers. Like Fire moves have been good, but he hasn't had that monster season yet. Like because we had like Roethlisberger was at the end of his career. Then after that, we really have no good quarterback or coordinator. So we'll see how it goes this year. My thing is, can we put up points and can these receivers separate? And because most likely gonna happen, that first game gonna be against the Jets. Most likely gonna happen is that they gonna have a lot of their defense gonna be like we're stopping DK Metcalf and we're making Calvin Austin show us he's that good number two. I think because I knew GP was he was a good number one and he's even a better number two. So I think gonna do it. He gonna have a lot of success in Dallas, but I want to see what Calvin Austin can do because but he was good. He had some good moments last year, but I want to see. I want to see. That's my thing. I want to see. I have a lot more faith. I think Calvin Dawson can really step up this year. He can really be that second good receiver, maybe potential number one in the future. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens.